finished prep. Really good weekend. I don't really know how to start, if I'm honest. It's this guy like Reece finished his prep.
Yeah, we didn't even speak.
Yeah.
The last one was before, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I feel like we probably should have started with that. Like, yeah, so prep's done for me, but it's been a very weird transition into a potential off season. But if I'm honest, like it's been 10 days, 11 days. I don't know. It's Thursday, so it's Thursday the 8th of June, and I finished on Sunday the 28th, and I've literally just not stopped since. Like, I've just been flat out. The weekend itself was class. I thought that was genuinely probably one of the best weekends I think I've ever had. Was good. Like, I already look back and think that was a really, really good weekend. So the debut occurred. I competed in Fitex for Classic and Open. I won the Classic class and beat Gaz. So CSN team. I haven't been dropped by CSN yet, but I put my supplement order in this morning, and they haven't got back to me about it. So I don't know. maybe I have been sacked. Usually it's pretty instantaneous, but I haven't had my message saying the order's been confirmed. So might have been sacked. So yeah, beat Gas, and then I came up in the Open class and got second to Guy is it Guy Chat? What's his name? Is it
Guy Harding? Guy C Harding on Instagram.
Who is an absolute freak.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, really, really nice guy. Guy was he's a really nice guy.
He's like my best mate.
Fair enough.
Loves my car.
Does he? Yeah. Shout out Guy. Like, very, very good bodybuilder.
Good guy.
And I saw him backstage, and I was like, why is he here?
I thought he was guest posing.
Yeah, but it turns out and I thought to myself, if he didn't turn up, I would have won that wicked sword. Like, because I would have won the Open bodybuilding, and I probably would have won. I'd imagine I would have. I would have.
Came third in the overall, so you wouldn't have.
Yeah, but I beat the guy who finished second, and I think
he was a better classic bodybuilder than you were.
But I think I was a better open bodybuilder than he's a classic, because I beat him in his own class. So I don't know. I would have liked this. Guy, why'd you have to turn up? But no, in all seriousness, if you had given me the option, I would have 100% took the second with no sword, because if I turned up and just won the overall, it would have been like, okay, cool. Like, it would have been, it was really, really good just to go through like loads of rounds of posing with a guy who is incredibly good.
Which show did you prefer?
I think they both had their pros. Like, I think
get off the fence.
No, I
choose one.
I don't know. I think when I got first call out PCA, that was the highlight, because I was like, I genuinely for the first time was like, I was really happy. When they called my number, I was like, yeah, like I was really happy, happier than whenever I've won a show.
I think the PCA show was better just because it was a busier show. It was a higher standard,
and I also think I felt like
it was you. If anything, like you. For me, you sort of, what's the word? You beat our expectations, didn't you, by quite a lot?
Yeah, I solidified in my head. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Whereas like the other shows have been like a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Not the Fitex, but the ones before that.
Yeah.
The PCA and the Fitex were, especially the PCA, was like, oh shit, like, okay, this is really good.
This is what I do. Yeah. This is what I should be doing, and I think that's kind of confirmed it. So yeah, Saturday was like Fitex, getting my feet wet, seeing how things are in the grand scheme of things. Like, other than Guy, and the standard wasn't bad.
Talk about the travel to the Airbnb.
Yeah, it was just a long drive,
mate. The fucking lane that you went up.
Oh, God.
It wasn't just a long drive. It was a nightmare.
It was a long drive where the maps decided to take us to a place where it was taking us.
The wrong address.
I just clicked on the one that Airbnb selected through the Safari, not through the communication hub. I'm not really an Airbnb guy. So basically, we ended up driving up this lane at like 9 o'clock.
It was a public footpath, and it was just like big rocks.
And my car
driving down it, and we were like, we were going so slow, weren't we?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not driving up here. And eventually we got to the Airbnb.
It took about 10 minutes to reverse out.
Yeah, we got to the Airbnb. It was like 10 p.m. We should have got there like 8.
The woman was lovely.
The woman was lovely.
Posy.
Yeah, Posy. Shout out Posy. Yeah, weird name because her name isn't even Posy. Like, I sent her money for Sam and her name wasn't Posy. And
it was Rosemary.
Yeah, so that clearly is her nickname.
Yes, guys, hope you are enjoying the podcast. If you are interested in coaching with either FK Physiques or with Team R Fit, then please head down to the links below and you can find the applications there.
Shout out Rosemary. So yeah, Airbnb was lovely. Saturday, it literally was like we just paid.
What happened when we asked her what one thing we needed?
Oh, I said to her, as long as you got a microwave, and she was like, I don't.
It's the only thing.
And I was like, oh, Sound. Don't worry, Posey. You don't have a fucking microwave. Sort it out. Airbnb.
Stupid bitch.
1-star review. No, she was lovely. But literally, we just paid for an Airbnb to go to bed. We then woke up and literally
bless her,
within...
she was like,
Yeah, I'll make you
I'll make you
breakfast.
coffee. What do you want for breakfast?
And
And
we
I
were
was
like-
like, we'll literally be gone at like 7.
Yeah.
She was like, what do you want for coffee in the morning? What time? And I was like, I'm going to be up at 4:30. She was like,
Yeah.
what? I was like, yeah, don't make me
Yeah,
coffee.
no.
Please don't make me coffee. Just
Yeah.
go stay in bed. It's fine.
Yeah. So literally, we got up. We didn't like we all didn't sleep like for that long, and then we literally like we went through a round of posing, and then went to the show, and that was literally it. And like I said, the show was class. Fitex, they ran it incredibly well. Like it was
Packed.
ran. It was ran in really, really well. Like the people that like it was the most enjoyable show day I've had when it came
Fitex is
to
good.
like how they were backstage, the pump up, the fact they let Sam backstage. It was so calm and like it was the opposite of like stress on an actual show day. It was literally just like they were calling me out to get my tan. They were really nice. Everyone there was just lovely. It was like they want you to be there. And then you got a good goodie bag, like you got a t-shirt, like what you actually pay for. I was like, Jesus Christ, like I can understand why it's pretty popular, Fitex,
Yeah.
because it felt
look
like
after their
I did. I felt like they wanted me to be there, which is a surprise because most shows it's just like you just turn up and it's like,
Just
oh, what
another
what number are you, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Fitex was on Saturday, first and second, and then third in the overall, which it's the judging criteria for the overall is a bit weird because I got beat by a guy that I beat in the class for classic, but they judge it based off classic criteria, and I agree he is more classic than me, so I can get why he beat me now. But the judging criteria
No, he beat you as a bodybuilder. You beat him as classic. Because he won his bodybuilding class, didn't he?
is that how it works?
He won his bodybuilding class. So, like, for example, he won bodybuilding short,
Yeah.
but then you beat him in classic. Yeah?
Yeah.
So they were judging you as a classic guy, him as a bodybuilder, and Guy as a bodybuilder. So they basically said
Oh.
he was a better short bodybuilder
Yeah.
than you were a classic bodybuilder, which I think was right.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I actually get. I agree when I think about it, but it's just a bit
It
odd,
is a bit odd,
when
yeah.
you beat somebody.
They should just give it to what they shouldn't do placings. You know,
No.
like most overalls, it's not.
Yeah,
placings,
it should
it's
just
a
be
winner.
the best guy at
Yeah.
the show.
And Guy was the best
Guy
guy.
was the guy. Yeah, I do agree. I was better than him lower body wise, I'd say, if sharpness, condition.
Yeah.
So-
No, it's size.
Yeah, and
Maybe
I think
not
yeah,
quads, but
not quads,
maybe
but
not from the side and from the back.
Yeah.
You smashed him lower body,
guy got done.
but his upper body is stupid.
And from the side, upper body, I think I did him through certain areas. I think my back was sharper, but he had a lot more muscle. From the front, Jesus Christ, it was a fucking whitewash. He destroyed me. But
Yeah, he's most muscular.
yeah, his most muscular was a joke in comparison. But
Crazy.
either way, like this is what we wanted. We wanted like good comparisons, and like you were the most hyped up I've ever seen you after. Like when backstage after that, you were
That's
like,
'cause
mate,
it was just
you.
fun to watch.
Yeah, you
Like, it
literally.
was really
we
good.
went through like 6 rounds. I think it was like a stupid amount. We're probably up there for like 20 or
Longer
30
than
minutes.
that,
Yeah.
it's ages.
So my first ever time on a bodybuilding stage, I was literally just going through rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds, and I was loving it. It was really good fun. Like my stamina was good, and then like literally went through that. Then so the open, the classic, and the overall, and I was absolutely smashed. By the end of the day, I'd never gone through posing before, like bodybuilding posing. My legs were ruined. My adductors, I woke up multiple times with cramp, and then it was a case where we were like almost having to make decisions on the fly because the look on Saturday was wicked. Like the look was the best I've ever looked. I got off stage, Finn was showing me photos, and I was like, that's me. Like I literally didn't think that was me. And then Sam was
It's a
like,
case of
mate,
trying to make
you
sure
look
you
class.
didn't end up running too flat.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I should just not eat.
Yeah, I should just
Like-
run this. So we got back in. I had my usual kind of post-show cream of rice, which is just like a big bowl of cream of rice and then a few like bits on top. So I got some fruit, I had a protein bar, and then I think I had like two rice cakes. And then I had 100 carb and then a pro-fat final meal. Woke up the following day like 0.7 of a kilo lighter. But I'd argue I looked better on Sunday. I think that was my
Yeah,
best
I
look.
think
The
you did.
Sunday look was the best because it was a case where...
You know why I think it was?
How come?
Because you were just chilled out.
Yeah.
And you really enjoyed the day before.
And I didn't really think much of like, other than being physically battered,
No,
I
you
went into
weren't-
the weekend and
there
I was just
no
chilled.
pressure on- I
Yeah.
think there was definitely more pressure on the first show. And then after you'd seen the
Yeah.
photos and you liked how you looked and
Yeah.
stuff, you like, you were literally so relaxed going to Sunday. We both were, weren't
Yeah.
we? It was just like,
That's
obviously, like I wanted you to do as well as you could. I know you
Yeah.
did, but
Yes, guys, if you're enjoying the podcast, please leave a like and subscribe and drop any comments with what you'd like to see moving forward.
we were very relaxed. Like there was no expectations.
It was a bonus. Like that's how I viewed it. Like Saturday, it was
But
like
then
right.
when you're on stage,
Mm.
like I was thinking, the fucking top 3 is available here. Like,
Yeah, and it's one of them. Like, I spoke to a fair few people, spoke to a few judges. I got my feedback. I was a bit too sharp through the lower body, they said. Like, I got told, which is weird
but
for
too soft through
classic.
your back.
Yeah, but the classic criteria, like, and then if you look at, and again, this is the one thing, like, so I basically PCA Universe, I got 4th in the classic class. I went in and I was like, right, if I get first call out, I'll be happy. I'd be legitimately happy with a first call out based on the fact that you have to qualify. There were international athletes that had travelled. There was the standard across. It's the highest standard PCA show, and the standard was very, very high. And I qualified as a men's physique guy 3 weeks before, so I was almost going into it not like taking the piss, but it was a bit of a piss take in the sense of how I qualified in comparison to other people, and the fact that legitimately I was a men's physique dude. And I'm up against. I'm in an open class. It's not like a junior class. These are dudes where I think I was the youngest on stage again by like 10 years. The most people were late 20s and early 30s, and I say late 20s, I don't think there was a single guy in their 20s. And I was like backstage, I was pumping up, I felt fucking awesome on the day. I just felt chilled. I like went through some posing beforehand with IFBB Pro Matthias, I think his name is on Instagram, but his name isn't Matthias, it's like Juliana or whatever. And he was like blown away with how like my condition was, and I was like, yep, sound, I think we're on. So literally chilled out, went through like, let's say, the pump up routine. There wasn't really, I just chilled out, and then got first call out, and I was like really happy with how I looked, how I posed, everything. It was just a really, really good like kind of demonstration.
Made some good tweaks from the day before.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I was hitting a vacuum on my front relaxed, because my front relaxed is definitely,
so much better.
Yeah, it's definitely my worst pose. And then I knew going in, like, this is the thing, like when it comes to classic criteria and likewise bodybuilding criteria, I think if it was judged off strictly bodybuilding, I think I probably could have won the class if it was bodybuilding criteria, because I think if you look back at the footage, I think there was a lot of things that I did a lot better than other people.
Yeah,
but I also
bodybuilding.
Think as well, when it comes to open and likewise classic, there's a lot of flaws to my physique, which is why like I got first call out, and I think I got first call out based off the technicalities of my strengths, but there's a lot of weaknesses to my physique, which we said heading into the shows that we knew.
And I think as well, like, obviously I said it loads, but if we'd have known if we'd have set out to do classic from the get-go,
yeah, like posing,
practice
yeah,
pose,
demonstration,
like the least classic poser really.
Oh yeah, I pose like a bodybuilder.
Practiced it.
I pose like a bodybuilder.
You're hitting most musculars on stage in classic, like.
Yeah, but
they
asked for most muscular.
Did they?
Yeah, I only hit the most musculars when they asked.
I don't think they do.
They do. The last pose was a most muscular.
In PCA?
Yeah. There was a classic most muscular, or there was some iteration of
I
it.
think it's just favourite classic pose.
Yeah, and
you weren't hitting your most muscular then. You were hitting it in the pose down and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But either way, I'd gone into it with like minimal practice. I practiced obviously in the build up, and like I hadn't even hit a quarter turn up until 12 days before. So I was happy with my posing, all things considered. But there's things that you could do to make it more classic, and that's going to play a role. So like I said, we got first call out, and that legitimately, when I got my number called out, that was the happiest I think I've ever been. And that's a first call out. Like, I've won shows, but it was like, yeah, cool, we're on. This is good. And like I had a fair few comments. Like I said, I spoke to a few people. You look at the Instagram reels, all the comments are like, how did Reece Fit only get 4th? But it's judged off a criteria that I'm very good at in certain areas, but I'm also not the best because I haven't really trained or practiced for that class. And I think like it's one of those where I think we were all a bit, initially I wasn't disappointed with 4th. I was like, sound 4th, cool. I think you were more disappointed.
I thought you could have been 3rd.
Yeah, I think
you weren't going to be the top 2 because the top two guys were really classic. Like,
yeah. To the two black dudes,
they stood out as being more classic than everyone else. Like they weren't as big, they weren't as sharp.
They were smaller. They were actually less conditioned.
But they're just really classic and had really good classic shape, and their classic posing was really good. So then it was a case of like between you, what's his name that came
Craig.
3rd?
Yeah,
Craig, and then the guy that came 5th.
I'm not sure who came 5th, but
it was between like those three, and I was thinking like you could be 3rd.
I think it was either Jack Eagles said afterwards, he was like, you're either going to get fourth or first. He was like, judging off what they were going for, and he was like, and with how PCA judged, he was like, I thought
you were never going to get first. Like, what?
No.
After we'd
no.
watched it.
I don't think it would have been. I think it would have been first if, like I said, if you judged it strictly off bodybuilding criteria, and then you turned a blind eye to like 3 of my flaws. I think you'd go, yeah, okay, fair enough. He's got the best lower body and the most conditioned lower body, in the sense of how things are. Quad sweep, we'll ignore that, and then we'll just go for the most amount of muscle across the top line, and then lower back,
classic posing.
but and then also posing, we'll just scratch that. Reese fit first. Like again, I probably was first in a fair few areas, but I was also probably 5th or 6th in a few other areas. So that was the PCA universe. That was a wicked day. It was, I think that certified to me. I'm like, right, cool. This is what I need to be doing. I just need to be better at it.